Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by Isabella Robusto, the driver of the number 55 Toyota for Venturini Motorsports in the ARCA Menard Series. And of course, if you missed a few weeks ago, she will be going full time in the 55 this year in pursuit of the ARCA Championship. Isabella, how are you?
I'm good. Been busy, but good.
So, how was Daytona?
I think Daytona went really well. The first couple of runs when I was doing a single car, were super cool to experience. Just being able to be up on the high banks and the big track was something I kind of dreamed of as a little kid. So it was super exciting to be able to do that. And then at the end of the day, when we finally were able to get into the draft, it was a whole new experience. Definitely a lot that I can learn on it, but feeling good come February.
So of course, let's go back. Let's go back a month when this thing was put together. How long was this? I know obviously, your plans. Your racing journey has taken a lot of twists and turns, a lot of ups and downs, and you know, what is it like to now go full time after everything you've been through, especially with the concussion a few years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago when I had my concussion and I was supposed to kind of start my ARCA career, I was kind of worried about what the future would hold if I was even able to get back into the car. So it means a lot to be able to run a full season coming up here in 2025, and I think it will go really well. I feel like I'm kind of part of the Venturini family already, so looking forward to it. I feel like all of the races that I had last year as well went really well, and was able to get the pole at Kansas and a second place, first time ever on dirt. So feeling good going into this year, but yeah, now we have a couple more weeks to wait before it actually starts.
Yeah, I know there's obviously a lot of things you have to do, but just to get this opportunity, with Toyota, with this team, obviously everybody knows what this team has accomplished over the years, in this series. But what's it like to drive for Billy and Big Bill and all that fun stuff?
It means a lot. They're definitely just a huge family, and even at the shop, we kind of go to lunch a couple days a week, and just we even talk about things outside of racing, which I feel like is hard to do with some race teams. So it's small enough to where you can still be close to kind of everyone and all the different moving parts of the team, and I feel like that's really special, especially going into kind of my first full year in like a NASCAR series. So
Yeah. You mentioned going out to lunch and stuff like that. I know one of the biggest things that I learned from you last year, through some other opportunities, was you're really into the fitness, the nutrition side of things. And I know obviously Toyota has this program that obviously that tracks everything, with that. Just what kind of got you all into that stuff?
so when I joined Toyota in October of 2021, I kind of was introduced into it. I worked out a lot, kind of in the earlier years as well with the NASCAR Diversity program, but Toyota was really focused on kind of the nutrition part, and if you don't have the nutrition part right, then kind of all the workouts and physical fitness that you do won't really make too big of an impact. So I've kind of learned throughout the years that the nutrition is a big part. So now it's kind of come secondhand to me of what I eat when I eat type of thing. But yeah, I feel like it makes a huge difference in the car. I can definitely notice if I hydrate well and fuel my body right kind of before a long, hard, kind of hot race or not. And for me, I feel like it's a big part of kind of like leading into the race weekend that I have to do now.
So, what, like, obviously I know that, don't you don't have to give the entire thing, but like food, like what, like how much do you hydrate before a race? What do you typically eat during a race, like before a race or after? Like what kind of goes into that?
Yeah, I kind of have a plan laid out for myself that we've figured out over the last couple of years, like in the Toyota camp of
Yeah.
how much carbs I'm supposed to have, how much fats, proteins, and we kind of have a timeline as well of when I have to have each one. My kind of pre-race meal is just rice, chicken, and maybe some avocado, but normally just rice and chicken. It's easy to kind of get down, digest during kind of pre-race stuff. And then my hydration is also mapped out a couple days in advance because that's such a big part of being in the race car, especially over summertime when it's really hot. So I know kind of the schedule that I have to keep, how much water, how many electrolytes I might have to add into each one, kind of heading into the weekend of preparing. And I feel like it makes a huge difference just mentally and physically when you're in the car.
Absolutely. Um, so to get this opportunity, of course, you had a lot of starts out, out west, and then some this year. What was the some of the biggest moments you took away from 2024?
2024, I feel like was a good year overall, especially kind of for my first couple ARCA races. Irwindale, I felt like both of those races I had a chance to win. The one I finished second in, felt like I made a couple mistakes in the first night and definitely fixed them for the second night and led most of the race and unfortunately got a flat tire leading by a good chunk of time. But felt like that was a really good race. And Kansas as well, being able to get on the pole, I made a mistake kind of with my spotter a little bit, kind of on that second lap. So I wasn't really able to do the full race at Kansas, but we knew I was fast. And yeah, I feel like out of all the races, even my first dirt race, being able to be second, I felt like I learned so much during that race to where when we go back to Springfield and then even to DuQuoin for the first time this year, that I'll be able to kind of hit the ground running and be able to run up front. And running for a championship means also kind of focusing on finishing races, making sure you don't crash out. And so going into this year, that's a big part that I'll kind of be focused on as well as the team of we need to make sure that we're getting points for finishing races just so we can kind of stay in the hunt for the championship throughout the year.
Yeah, and you talked about the races, of course. The ARCA season is always filled with all different types of tracks, from road courses to super speedways to mile and a halves, to short tracks and even dirt tracks. So, what are you most looking forward to? For what track are you most looking forward to go to? And you can't say the next one.
Daytona would be a big one just because I've never been kind of racing on a super speedway and the draft was so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. I I know this can be more than one, but I really
Oh, of
can't just
course. Yeah,
pick
no,
one.
yeah,
But
throw a bunch out there.
the road courses I'm looking forward to. I love road courses. That's kind of my background, how I grew up. So the road courses definitely looking forward to. I've never been to Watkins Glen or Lime Rock, so those seem like they're going to be a lot of fun. But the dirt tracks were shockingly fun for me. I'm not very good at dirt. I've tried Millbridge 2 times now, and I'm not very good. But the dirt track in the ARCA car was also fun. So there's a lot of tracks on the calendar that I haven't been to. There's more that I haven't been to than I have. So I'm sure there's going to be some surprises on the way of tracks that are going to be really fun. We tested Charlotte on the sim last week, and I just had a huge smile on my face the whole time. So I'll probably be enjoying that one when it comes as well. But yeah, just the whole season altogether, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you said that you weren't good at dirt tracks, and then you finished second at Springfield. So, um, you never know. But going into a lot of these races, you were close at a lot of the tracks. You mentioned Irwindale. Obviously, you won't get redemption there because, of course, that track is now closed. But
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, that track's no
uh,
longer gonna be there, but it was fun for the 2 races I was able to do.
yeah. But I know you've a lot of people have noticed what you were able to do on track and stuff like that. And just to see how much just a lot of the I know a lot of the attention that you have gotten the last few years. What's it like to now just to go and run for a championship and to go out there and compete with some of the with one of the best teams in the series?
I'm feeling really confident going into this year. This is also a very different mindset than I've had the last couple of years. The goal, kind of when I first joined Toyota, was to get my feet wet and basically everything that we could from pro late models, super late model stocks, even on the sports car side, doing the GR86, the GT4 car, and obviously the ARCA car as well. So it was just about getting a broad range of kind of different driving abilities and skills that I could kind of collect and make a notebook of. And I feel like all of those together are really helping me kind of prepare for this year. And like I said earlier, the plan for this year is to obviously fight for the championship. I want to get that first win as a female in the NASCAR sanctioned series. And if it's finishing second in a weekend or finishing third in a weekend, and that's all of our car can do, then that's where we finish and we just get the points and kind of play the long game, make sure we're there at the end come Toledo.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Isabella, thank you so much for the time as always. Best of luck at Daytona, and we'll talk to you later in the year.
Thank you.